Okay, this is a video on how to add a power supply to an Icom 738. The 736 came with the power supply internal in it, but the 738, when you first open the radio, this whole area is just empty. They basically decided not to do an AC power supply with this particular radio, and it's a shame because everything's here to do one. You just got to find the right supply that'll fit in there nicely, and after much research, I did find it. And I'll put where this is available in the comments below this video. This is actually purchased on Amazon. It's I believe it's $89, and it is perfect size to actually fit in here, and it's a 30 amp regulated, which is definitely sufficient to drive this radio. It gives a little extra capacity there, so you don't have to worry about it overloading or anything, and stays relatively cool. So the neat thing about the 738, it's already got a plate across this on the back. You just take that plate out and you just buy the socket, and I'll also put where there's part number is also in the comments, and it just fits right in there. So you buy that socket. You're going to have a place for a fuse too, right here. It's got a little cap, but just buy a fuse holder and it just goes right in there. So the radio's ready to have this put in it. I left the 12 volt down here connected. There's no reason to actually have it connected, but I still have it all connected if you did want to use 12 volts for some reason to run this mobile. So you can do either one. So the first thing you do with this power supply is you're going to take the top off and take the front off and you're going to cut the wires to the on-off switch, and then you just connect them together so it's always on. Because what you're going to do is you're going to use this switch, happens to just have two terminals that can switch the supply on and off. Okay, and when you open the radio, those two terminals actually feed down to this 12 volt line. They're on the right side. If you're looking this direction, they're not used for anything. I don't know if they use it for an Icom DC power supply to turn it on and off. That's the only thing I do, but they switch between each other. But what I did is I actually just cut those two wires off where they come to the bottom of the switch, and then I use that switch to switch the leg of the AC. So it goes in there, goes through the fuse, and goes to one side of the switch. The other AC obviously comes in and goes direct to the power of this power supply. And you can see I had to remove the back plug from the circuit board and take that off, and then I wired in the AC cables directly, the ground and the AC cables directly, and just brought them out the back. Left the fan on. So this fan, which is really convenient, when you drop this power supply down in here, it just fits right in there, other than a couple of things. There is a little, I don't know if it's a mounting thing. You're gonna have to cut that off. I basically used a Dremel and a cutting wheel, and I cut the tip of that off. It sticks out about about an 1/8 inch too far in for this to sit down. There's also one in the center. It's about the size of this, and you're gonna have to grind that down. It sticks up about a 1/4 inch. So just take a Dremel. The easiest thing I did was took a Dremel cutoff wheel and I just cut that sucker off, and then it's cut off the tip of this, and then this power supply will sit nice and flush. I put double stick tape on the bottom of it. This thing is not going anywhere. I'm telling you, not going anywhere. But for a safety precaution, just in case somehow this became dislodged, someone's four-wheel driving with this thing, and I just can't imagine. The last thing I wanted was for this to slide back and touch those AC terminals. So I've got a stick-on rubber bumper, you can see here, preventing that. It can't ever go back and hit that. And I just stuck that on the back of the power supply. Just a safety feature that you can't be too careful. You can leave the binding posts on the back. They're not touching anything. Everything just fits in here just great. Tie clip the stuff. So on the DC side, leave these connected because there's a little bit of regulated components that go to it. Don't cut those off. You'll have the Anderson connectors coming up to the front plate that I removed. You're going to have 4 wires coming out, 2 positive, 2 negative, because it had 2 sets of Anderson connectors. Just cut those off, and that's where you're going to tie in to the DC part of the radio where it fed here. So you'll see the positive and the negative, and you just tie those in. I use these automotive type clamps to give it more of a professional. Basically, it's not going anywhere. It's very secure, but you can do whatever you want. Heat shrink tubing, tie them together. So the DC is still flowing from the DC connector through these to the radio, but also they're connected to the power supply DC. And that's it. This stuff was already in there. Just tie clip that. And this fan, when you first, here, I'll go ahead and turn this on. Let's plug it in here. And you can see what. So this fan will just fire up briefly, and then it'll stay off for quite some time till the radio really warms up. And then it barely moves. There's enough airflow now with this cover off. And you've got a fan here too that kind of blows across. So really good ventilation with the back. I don't see any heat issue with this radio. And so, yeah, if you want to just add a, like I said, a DC power supply, again, I'll show you in the comments what model this is. And also, that's another Amazon part. It was $5, the AC socket. And it'll be slick little radio that you can just run on AC like it was kind of intended to be originally. So there you have it.